Hi everybody and Happy New Year! Let's kick off 2024 with, what else? Some pickups. First off, I'd like to show you some really awesome gifts that I received from my fiance, my family, as well as her family. Everybody kind of went above and beyond this year, and I'm absolutely thrilled and extremely thankful for everything that they got for us. So first off, over here, I got a set of comic book bins. So these are really nice, heavy-duty plastic storage bins for comic books. Now, I don't really collect any current comics, but I have a lot of older stuff. I think I've mentioned before, I have a full run of the Archie TMNT Adventures. I have a full run of the Nintendo Comic System. So I kind of want to just protect them a little better. So not only did I get these really nice bins, but they also got me some new bags and boards so I could replace my 20 or 30-year-old ones that I'm currently using. Also, I got... So this, I couldn't even believe existed. So there are some blind box toys available called Doorables from Disney. It's like Adorables. They open little doors. But anyway, I saw on Amazon they had a full set of a Goofy movie characters. So I was lucky enough to get this as a gift. This is really cool, though. It has basically every major character from the movie. You've got Max, Goofy, Pete, Roxanne, even Stacy and Bobby, the Bigfoot, PJ, and, of course, Powerline. So, awesome addition to my Goofy movie collection. Then, continuing on with, like, the toys, I got this really cool holiday edition Scout Trooper from Star Wars, part of the Black Series. And hopefully you can see it there. It's a really cool, kind of like holiday sweater-themed outfit for the Scout Trooper. And there's also a tiny little Grogu in a pouch. Now, if you've been with the channel a while, you know how much I love speeder bikes and Scout Troopers, so this was a must-have for me. Also, got a couple really cool Hallmark ornaments from my fiance. I got Oliver and Dodger from the movie Oliver and Company, one of my top 3 all-time favorite Disney films, as well as this year's console ornament, which happened to be the Sega Dreamcast. Now, in previous years, they did an NES, a Super NES, and a Sega Genesis, and a lot of people, myself included, were expecting an N64, but we got a Dreamcast, so I'll take it. Also, kind of a fun surprise gift from my fiance. I got this really interesting-looking Jigglypuff toy, but what's kind of cool is if you unzip it and turn it inside out, if I could do it, it turns into a Ditto. So that's why it had kind of like the goofy facial expression. Now, it's definitely not an official toy from what we could find, but I think it's awesome. She was kind of hesitant to buy it because it wasn't official, but I love it. So very happy to get that. Also, from my family, I got a couple really cool Lego sets that I've been interested in. So I got the Lego Sonic the Hedgehog set. Now there is a dedicated line of Sonic the Hedgehog sets now, but this was the very first set that was part of the Lego Ideas line. So I wanted to at least start with this one. Then I also got this really cool Lego Jurassic Park set, which is the T-Rex Breakout. So you can see it's the iconic scene where the cast is in the Ford Explorers and the T-Rex breaks through the fence and basically almost kills the children. And next, it's not a Lego set, but something I came across on Amazon when I was doing a little bit of research. So if you haven't seen it before, there's a really cool Lego set of a Pac-Man arcade machine. I'll throw up a photo here for reference. But it's apparently exclusive to the Lego store and very expensive, so I always feel kind of iffy asking for expensive stuff like that. But when I was looking on Amazon, I came across something very cool and significantly cheaper. It's a Metal Slug 3 arcade machine building set. So this is from a company called Fantasy. Never heard of it before, but apparently this is an officially licensed SNK product. And what's really neat about this set is it actually transforms. So the scene here where you could see the 4 playable characters, I believe there's a lever, I think it's the joystick. If you move it, it'll flip them over into an in-game scene with the actual Metal Slug tank. And I just thought this thing was amazing, and when I came across it, I think it was like 40% off. So hopefully whoever picked this up for me got a great deal on it. Either way, I appreciate it. And then one final absolutely amazing building set that I got from my fiance is the Lego Atari. This thing is freaking awesome. It's huge. I have had my eye on this since the day they announced it, so thank you so much to her. This thing is awesome. And then finally, a couple other gifts. I actually got a couple of video games. So I got Dredge for Nintendo Switch, which I've actually opened and have been playing, and it is awesome. Oh my god. Like, when I heard about this game, I'm like, that sounds pretty cool, but it's just so much better than I ever expected. If you haven't played it yet, check it out. It's basically a combination of fishing and like resource management and eldritch horror, believe it or not. It is outstanding, and it's available on basically every platform, so if you don't have a Switch, you're good. And then one additional Switch game that I was really excited to get is the new WarioWare. Absolutely love this series. I have every other game in the series from Game Boy Advance all the way up to Switch, as well as the Rhythm Heaven games, which are kind of a spin-off, featuring some similar characters. But anyway, this one just came out, and now I have it. And then one final video game-related gift that I was really excited to receive in a completely nondescript cardboard box is a GC loader. If you're not familiar, this thing replaces the disk drive in a Nintendo GameCube and allows you to load games off of an SD card. So these have been around for several years at this point, but the company or the team that makes these like official GC loaders only seems to release them in small batches, maybe I'd say 3 or 4 times a year. And every previous batch, I would hear about it and I wouldn't have money, or I would miss it because it would sell out, and I just never got one. But I threw it on my Christmas list and somebody actually got me one. So absolutely awesome gift. Thank you so much to everyone. I don't know if anyone's actually watching, but thank you. I appreciate it. Now, let me show you some cool thrifting stuff. Of course, after the holidays, I had not much else to do, so went to a bunch of thrift stores, as I often do. So first, let's start with some toy bags. So these first couple are from my local Goodwill, and this one had some really neat stuff in it. Apparently, someone had a lot of older Japanese toys and just dumped them, so I would gladly buy those. So first of all, we have these two guys who may look very familiar. That's basically the exact same model used in the Bomberman games, but these are from a toy line called Bidaman. Now, I know it was a big deal in Japan, and apparently it did release in the US at some point, somewhere in the years that I lived in Japan. So I don't know how popular it was or well known, but I'm just treating them as little Bomberman guys. On a similar note, there is a cool little yellow Kirby toy here. It says Dicos, D-I-C-O-S on top. So I don't know if that was maybe like a candy brand or something. It looks like it's meant to like launch a gumball or a marble. I don't know. Then we have Rock Lee from Naruto. He was actually my favorite character. I didn't really get into the anime, but I did read the entire run of the original manga, and Rock Lee was always my favorite character. I always played as him in the GameCube fighting games too. So a couple of my buddies in college imported him, so he was my go-to character. Then continuing on, we have an original Tomy Pokemon figure. It's Delibird, the little kind of like Santa Claus type bird Pokemon. And then, if I can find them, I believe there's a couple of Digimon in here as well. Yeah. Now, I wasn't as big into Digimon, so I don't recall these guys' names offhand, but I definitely recognize them from the series. It's a little, probably PVC figures here. It just says China on the back. I don't know if they're official or not. Oh, actually, one more. This dude, the Digimon. And then a few other things of interest in here. These two kind of cool looking little dinosaurs, I realized, are actually from Yu-Gi-Oh! It says, what's his name? Takahashi is stamped on the side. Yeah, on the side of this like stegosaur looking dude. And then one more thing in here. Actually, a couple things. These are always fun to find. They're those, I think these were big in probably like the 80s, the goofy little finger puppet monsters that were like a quarter each back in the day. And then, yeah, I'll start with this one here. So this, I think it's supposed to have more pieces to it, but it's essentially the Shinkansen, or bullet train from Japan, but it's a transforming robot. Thought that was kind of neat. I don't know if it was from like just a toy line, or if there was maybe a show to go along with it, but it's kind of a fun, you know, retro Japanese toy. And if I didn't mention already, this entire bag was just $1.99. So kind of a crazy deal for so many cool retro Japanese toys. Also, speaking of Japanese stuff, I got this bag, again for $1.99, which is full of what I thought were Pokemon Pogs. I'm a huge Pog fan, if you're new to the channel. But these, I realized, are actually the play pieces from the Pokemon Master Trainer board game. I'll throw up an image here of the box. You might be familiar with it. Now, I already have, I think, at least one, maybe two of the actual board game, but both of mine are incomplete. So I'm hoping the the character tokens that I'm missing might be in this bag. I need to go through and count them, because I think there's actually like 150 or 151 in each game. But yeah, for $2, I'm not passing that up. Then, moving on, let's stick with the Goodwill stuff here. So I got this other toy bag. This was more recent. And this one was $2.99, but has some pretty cool stuff in here. There is a, what is this? A Pocket Pop keychain of Spider-Man, new in its box. I think these were probably like, at least I'd say $5, if not $10 new. There are a couple Pokeballs. I think this one was, let's see, 2015 by Tomy, and then this one I think was even older. Yeah, 2012, and it's like a pop open one. How many? It worked at the store. Okay, take my word for it. It works. Then let's see. Oh, here we've got a Lego Star Wars R2-D2 minifigure. I think this might be one of the original ones too, because it's pretty basic, not a lot of detail to it. Then what else is in here? There's some like Bakugan, which I'm not really into. Oh, this I thought was cool. It's Mac Tonight, the old McDonald's mascot on a little scooter here. Probably an old McDonald's toy, or Happy Meal toy. Speaking of which, here's a cool Yoshi Happy Meal toy. I have a bunch of these, but it's just a really cool Yoshi figure. And then finally, a pretty obscure character that I definitely recognize, but most people might have forgotten about, is Mr. Bumpy from the old animated show Bumpin' the Night. So this was, if you're not familiar, it was like a, basically, I'd say, claymation or at least stop motion animated show that was on Saturday mornings, and it featured lots of kind of interesting little like creatures and toy type characters, and it was basically like the toys would come to life at night and stuff like that, but on the main character. It's kind of cool. And yeah, that was probably about it for that bag. And then next, this one didn't have a lot in it, but it was $3.99, and it has these McDonald's toys, which kind of a dime a dozen, but I got some Yoshis and a Toadette Mario Kart toy. But the reason I grabbed this is it actually has 2 of the Hot Wheels Mario Kart toys, which are normally $5 each. And I don't actually have either of these yet. So we've got Shy Guy in this, I forget the name of this cart, but this white cart, and then we've got Bowser in his kind of like pink cruiser. And there's also the Babam item car. These were sold in blind boxes, so this is especially cool to find. So that was a really good deal for those. And then finally, one more Goodwill bag. This one was a little more. It was $4.99. So first of all, it randomly had this little Mr. Freeze. Probably was this Imagine Next figure. But the reason I grabbed it, it is otherwise full of little... I'm not going to show you every single one here, but they are basically gingerbread versions of Marvel characters. So they're like Funko Pops. But I'm pretty sure all of these were in a holiday calendar or advent calendar, and I kind of looked them up, and people were selling these individually for like $5 each, and I got the entire bag for $5. And some of them are just cool. Like there's also some just like holiday themed ones. I got a little Rocket Raccoon on like a rocket sled here. There's a little Groot with some Christmas lights. Yeah, I mean, I love Marvel stuff, and I'm sure the calendar was probably like $40 when it was new, so to get all of them for $5, that's a great deal. Then, finally, a couple other toy bags here. These were all from Savers. So first off, got this one at $3.49, and it has some dinosaurs. Now, this first one is just a generic T-Rex, but what's interesting is whatever company has been releasing these, they're reusing the toy molds from the Jurassic Park 3 toy line. So you can see this one doesn't actually have it, have like the action feature, but it still has the molded area here for the dino damage, like scratch mark. So it's kind of cool to find these. But then there were 2 actual Jurassic World toys in here. So, let's pull them out. First off, we have a green Triceratops with battle damage. I'm pretty sure these were the Walmart exclusive ones. So they've got this kind of like little hidden area that you can make something attack and be like, oh, it's damaged. And then similarly, got actually my favorite... I'm going to call it a dinosaur. I know it's more of a prehistoric reptile, but a Dimetrodon. Now, this one is also the battle damage version. If you push down on this part of its spine, if you notice here, it shifts to, like, red, so it's like it's bleeding. But very, very cool figure. And I think, I know this one was probably like $10 new, and I got all of them for $3.49, plus I had 20% off. And then next, grabbed this bag of plush for $5.49, but this was kind of crazy. So first off, we have a Pokemon Leafeon, so one of the evolutions, and this is an official Pokemon Center plush. These are probably like $15 to $20 new. So I got him. Got a very, very cute little Pusheen clip-on plush with like a little rainbow. Got this kind of random Fuzzbees Hulk head. It's literally just his head. Yeah, I was trying to read this on the back. It says, I think it says Fuzzbees by Marvel. I don't know. Does it? No, it's got kind of. It feels like almost like a little like kickball inside. It's interesting. And then finally, this I couldn't believe. Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII. This thing is awesome. Like, I probably would have paid more than this for just him. But it's even got like his little Buster Sword on the back. This is just really cool. I've never seen these before, so I was really excited to find him. And then one final, I'll call it a toy bag, but it was with the toys, and it was $3.49. But it's actually a pair of 3D printed Bulbasaur planters. So my fiance has a kind of huge plant collection. She has plants all over the house, and we both love Pokemon. So I figured, grab these for her, and we could put some maybe like a little cactus in there or something, so it looks like the bud from a Bulbasaur. But yeah, 2 of them for just under $3.50 because I got 20% off. That was cool. Then some other toys from various stores. Let me pull them closer here. Oh, here. Let's do this guy. So I found a Dewback from Star Wars. This was from the Power of the Force 2 toy line that I collected back in high school, so like late 90s. And it's just got a cool kind of like chomping feature. And what's kind of funny, they actually had to pull it out to scan it, but whoever priced this and put it out for sale at Goodwill, they put the price tag on in its mouth, on the tongue. Because I was looking all over, I'm like, how much is this? And I accidentally bumped the tail. I'm like, oh, it was $1.99. Crazy good deal. And then at that same store, I ended up grabbing this. It's completely generic and kind of dumb looking, but it's got this kind of roaring feature that just goes on forever. Alright, chill out, dude. It was $2.99, but orange tags were half off, so just $1.50. And now the reason I decided to grab this is when I was a child, I was a big fan of a very, very, very old comic series from Marvel called Devil Dinosaur. I'll throw up an image on the side here. And I always thought it'd be cool to have a Devil Dinosaur figure or toy. But to my knowledge, they've never released an official one other than maybe like a little like Hero Clicks or something, which it's cool, but I want something like big. However, I think in somewhat recent years, they did I think it was part of the smaller scale, so 3.75 inch Moon Boy figure as part of Marvel Legends like online exclusive offer. Again, I'll throw up a picture here if I could find one. But I thought that would be perfect scale to go with this guy. I mean, he looks pretty close to Devil Dinosaur, I thought. It's, just a bright red T-Rex with a bunch of spikes. It's pretty basic, but for $1.50, why not? And speaking of dinosaurs, a couple other things. So these were actually from Goodwill's, but I found Sharptooth from The Land Before Time, one of my all-time favorite movies as a child. And this is one of the Pizza Hut puppets, if anyone else remembers getting puppets at Pizza Hut as a kid in like the 80s and 90s. So it was kind of funny. I was actually talking to my buddy at the store, and I was just kind of glancing around. We were in the toy aisle, and I was just kind of glancing around, and I saw this guy kind of hidden underneath some stuff. I was like, oh crap, Sharptooth! So, and it didn't have a price tag, so they gave it to me for 99 cents. Outstanding. And then one additional dinosaur toy here that is just awesome. Now, this was a little more expensive. It was $4.99. But this is actually a V-Rex, V as in vulture or victory, from what year was that? 2005 version of King Kong. So the Peter Jackson movie. And so V-Rex, it's a fictional dinosaur. I think what's the full name? It's like Vastadosaurus Rex. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, this, to my knowledge, I'm not 100% sure, but I think this is a more recent version of the V-Rex from a toy company called Rebor. And they've done kind of unlicensed versions of dinosaurs that appeared in like movies or things like that. So instead they couldn't call it a V-Rex, but they actually, if this is the one I'm thinking of, they called it Vanilla Ice, which is hilarious. But this is just an awesome, awesome, super detailed toy. So $5 was a steal for this. I think it normally sells for close to 50. Then moving on, do those in a moment. So, couple additional toys here. So this I thought was really cute. It is a mini Zoltar, made famous in the film Big with Tom Hanks, of course. So this, if you saw my previous video, I got another one of these. It's like one of the little like mini toys or gift sets you would get at like a Barnes & Noble. Because, yeah, it was normally $13. I got it for $3. It's not bad. I haven't had a chance to test it yet, so hopefully it works, but I don't know. But everything is in there. It has, let's see, it says it speaks 7 different fortunes, comes complete with 2 flickering lights and a light-up crystal ball, and there's 16 fortune cards. I did check that at least. And then, actually, another throwback to a previous video. So, it was either last month or the month before, I picked up a game called Forbidden Desert, a board game. And we actually had a chance to play it recently, and it was a lot of fun. And I realized it's part of a series of other Forbidden Blink games. And I happened to find Forbidden Sky, brand new, for $2.99. I think this is normally probably like a $40 game. So, really excited to find this, and considering how fun Forbidden Desert was, you know, I'm hoping this one's as much fun. Then, moving on, I got a couple plush toys at thrift stores. So, first off, I found a really cute little Cuphead plush, and this is an official one from Funko. And he was $3.49, but I got 20% off, so a little under $3, not bad. Then I also got this Jurassic World T-Rex, what are these called? Pillow Pets. And this is like the official Jurassic World one. Now, this one, it's not in amazing shape. Oh, and there's like the T-Rex, or the Jurassic Park T-Rex symbol there. It does have a tiny little rip here, and I think I saw like a teeny tiny little stain somewhere, but it was 99 cents. And I already do have the Velociraptor Blue pillow pet, so I figured get this one, complete the set for 99 cents. And then speaking of 99 cents, this I couldn't believe I found. I got the Build-A-Bear Eevee Pokemon plush for 99 cents. This was probably like $40 new if you got it at Build-A-Bear. And you can see there's the official like Build-A-Bear foot tag. Now somebody did cut off the like tush tag or whatever you call it, but I don't care. Very, very cool. Then got a couple electronics I'll show you. So let's start with these. These I found by the books at Savers, and I was like, oh, Land Before Time Activity Center, what's that about? And I realized, like, I was flipped it over and looked at the back, and I realized these were some big box PC games that somebody literally just cut the front and back cover off of and put in a bag, because you could see the actual software is in there. And it was just $179 plus 20% off, so it's like, I mean, it would have been cool to have, like, the box intact, but for, like, $1.50, that's still a cool find. And actually, there was another one. It's the animated movie book. So this is basically like the story of the movie in interactive form. So $1.79 each on those. And then I got a few types of media here. So first of all, I got a CD. It's The Chipmunks Sing the Beatles. I love the Chipmunks. I'm admittedly not a huge Beatles fan. Definitely like some of their stuff, but like, I don't know. I'm not like, not a huge fan, like I said. So they're good, just not my favorite. Let's put it that way. Anyway, this I could not pass up, though. It's just too funny. And it was only $1.99 at Savers. It's in great shape. It's got, like, the liner and everything. So, cool addition to my Chipmunks collection. As is this. This is a 2-disc collector set that I've been looking for. It's just a collection of, 14 episodes from the 80s, 90s series that I grew up watching. Yeah, it says the show ran from 1983, the year I was born, through 87. But I used to watch the reruns at, like, 6 a.m. before high school. So, but it's in nice shape. It's even got, like, the little insert here. It's got both discs. And I think that was just $2.99. Then, continuing on with movies, I got, this is George Balanchine's The Nutcracker. So it's like a film version of the classic musical. And what's kind of interesting about this, so I was at a Savers store, where I got this for $2.99, and they had a separate, usually they have all their DVDs in one section, but for whatever reason this time they had another section at the opposite end of the books. And when I walked over, there was a couple looking at them, and I saw they were like holding a movie. They're like, oh, this is like the 90s version. But they open it up, and they're like, oh, the disc is scratched to hell, so it's not worth it. And I just kind of like glanced to see what they were looking at, and it was a copy of this movie, but it was in one of those like cardboard keep cases that have like the plastic clip at this side and then flap open. And after they left, I looked at them like, oh, that would have been cool. So I'm scanning the shelves looking for other stuff, and lo and behold, on the shelf beneath that, there's another copy, perfect condition, in a standard case. So I grabbed it. And then one other thing I grabbed at Savers is the Mimic 3-film set. So I have actually not seen the 2 sequels, but I really liked the original Mimic movie when I was a kid. So all 3 on Blu-ray for $3. Not bad. Then picked up a pair of video games. Looks like these were actually from a Goodwill. So nothing mind-blowing, but still kind of interesting. So I got Squeeball's Party for Nintendo Wii. That was $2.99. And the reviews I read of this were kind of mixed, but it sounds fun. It's like a collection of mini games, as so many Wii games are. But what's kind of interesting about this one, these goofy little characters, apparently they get like really damaged or destroyed as you play the game, and like there were a lot of reviews from parents saying like, oh, it's too violent for my child, and I'm like, that sounds fun for me. So yeah, I grabbed that. And then this one, Scribblenauts Unmasked for Nintendo Wii U. So I'm pretty sure I have the other Scribblenauts, what is it, Scribblenauts Unlimited, I believe. And I like the concept of these games. I feel like in practice they don't always work the way you want them to, but they're still kind of fun. And this one I was like, it's $3.99. That seems, it sells for like $5, which, And I'm not like a big DC guy either. But the reason I decided to grab this is I realized it's actually a variant. So, of course, it has the game, but it also has a movie on DVD, which you can't play on a Wii U. But still, apparently this version was exclusive to Walmart, and, some Wii U collectors are looking for this specific version. So I figured, I'll check it out. If I hate the game, I'm not going to lose money on it. Then, a few more pickups from thrift stores. So I actually ended up picking up a Wii Remote. It was a little pricey. It was tagged $9.99, but I got 20% off, so $8. The reason I decided to go for it is this is one of the later, if not last, revisions that has not only the Wii Motion Plus inside, but it also has the sync button accessible through the battery cover. So if you're ever in the market for Wii remotes, this is the easiest way to tell if you have a newer Wii remote as opposed to an early model. This just makes it so much easier if you're syncing it to a new system. You don't have to like pop out the battery cover and then hold the tiny little button. It's just right there and accessible. So, and also, if I can peel this back, I realized it had, bear with me a second, a pair of Eneloop rechargeable batteries inside, and I do have a charger, so just a nice little bonus. And then finally, this was just kind of funny. So I was at Savers, and I found this speaker attachment for a Dell monitor. It was just $2.99 plus 20% off. And now I picked one of these up previously a few months ago when I got the actual monitor to go with it, but I haven't had a chance to test it. And I'm like, there is a chance that speaker doesn't work. So for under $3, I'll just grab another one. And then sure enough, a few days later, I'm at a Goodwill. They have another one. Again, $2.99, but orange tags were half off. So I'm like, $1.50, why not? So hopefully at least one, if not all of these work, and I figure, I can keep one as a backup or maybe sell one of them. I don't know. But they were all cheap, so it's all good. That is it for thrifting stuff, but I did pick up a couple things online and on clearance after the holidays. So let me show you those next. Let's start with these. Oh, actually, so this one was a Kickstarter reward that recently showed up. It is a book called The Impact of Iwata, the former president of Nintendo, who sadly passed away a few years ago. But this was actually published by the team that does Nintendo Force magazine, which, if you're not familiar, is the kind of unofficial follow-up to Nintendo Power. It started, I think, just a few months after Nintendo Power ended its run. And I've been subscribing to them not since the first issue. I didn't hear about it, unfortunately, so I think I started with, like, issue 4. And then I got the first issue as like a subscriber bonus or something. So I have issues 1 and then 4 all the way up through the current issue. But I still need to track down copies of issues 2 and 3. But anyway, they had this book as a Kickstarter a few months ago, and I love the magazine. I was a big fan of Iwata's work and just like his leadership, I guess. So thought, why not get the book? And then it also came with a really cool poster. Let me open this up. I don't know if I can get the whole thing in frame, but I will try. I'm ripping it. It's very cool. So a lot of this artwork was actually featured in Nintendo Force magazine over the years. So just a cool kind of bonus for backing the magazine. And then, let's see. A few other store pickups here. So let me do these next. So I stopped in Target a few days after Christmas, because they usually put a ton of stuff on clearance after the holidays. And I was actually able to get a pair of holiday calendars that I wanted. So I got the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary calendar, as well as this year's Super Mario calendar. So the Jurassic Park one, I believe, was, I think it was like $9.98, down from $40. So crazy good deal. And this is a really cool set because it includes a bunch of the mini dinosaurs, as well as an entire Jurassic Park fence enclosure with the gates. So yeah, I almost picked this one up at full price before the holidays, so I'm glad I waited. And then the Super Mario one, I think was a little more. I think it was like $11.99, but again, down from like $40. And so this one, it's not as amazing. It only includes 8 figures, but it also has 16 accessories like super mushrooms, stars, and whatnot. But what's kind of cool is these are the actual Jax 2.5-inch figures that are normally $5 each. So you figure 5 of them times 8, I mean, that's $40 right there, plus all the accessories. So for $12, I thought it was worth it. And then one final in-store pickup. I stopped by Half Price Books store when I was visiting my family recently. Because sadly, all the ones close to me closed down. but whenever I go down there, I try to stop in their store. And this, I think, had to be like a misprice on their part. But it is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel by a company called First. And it's essentially a reprinting of the very first few Ninja Turtle comics from Mirage, but colorized. And I looked it up, and the day I bought this, there were a bunch selling or sold for like $40 to $50. It was only $4.99, and they just put it out back on January 1st. So I don't know if there was supposed to be another 9 in there, but I'm not complaining because I love the Turtles, and I actually never read any of the original Mirage stuff. I started with the Archie series, so this was a really cool pickup. And then finally, I got a couple things on eBay because they randomly sent me a $10 coupon, which is pretty rare in this day and age. But I realized it was $10 off a $50 purchase. So I'm like, okay, I'll see what I can do. So I was looking around, and prior to the holidays, I heard about a new Meryl plush that was releasing in Japan, and I got it. So it is Meryl with a little baby Azuriel, and what's really cool, so new with tags, but what's really cool, I don't know if you can see the table here, so I'll just hold them up. If you pull them apart, he vibrates and pulls in the baby. And there's a couple others in this line. What do they call it? It's Buru Buru Mugyu Nuigurumi. So it's like crying baby plush, basically. But I'm pretty sure there was like a Pikachu with a Pichu, and then I want to say maybe like a Jigglypuff with an Igglybuff, something like that. But I obviously had to go for the Meryl. And I actually found a US seller that had them in stock, and they had a deal where if you purchase 2 items, you get free shipping. So I also grabbed this really cute substitute plush. So it's the substitute from the move that various Pokemon use, like notably here Whimsicott. So it's like they'll use this move, and then the Pokemon itself will disappear, and this little guy will just pop in as like a substitute. But yeah, very, very cool. Very cute plushies. And then, because I wasn't quite at $50 yet, I also got something I've had my eye on since I was in high school. So, geez, 30 years? No, not 30. 20. 20-something. I graduated in 2001. I'm not that old. But anyway, I got a Meryl Halloween costume! Obviously, it's a child size, but it is the bigger child size, but it is brand new, unused, and I don't know if it'll fit me, because I'm the Great Humongous, but I recall when I was in high school, one of my buddies on the high school football team wore this costume on Halloween, and he was a pretty big dude, so there's a chance it'll fit. I don't know. I might just keep it in the package. I don't know. I'm just happy to have it, finally, after, 20-some-odd years. But anyway, that is it. That is everything that I've picked up since Christmas through this first week of the new year. Let me know in the comments if, there's anything you have any questions on, wondering why I bought it, wondering where you could buy one. And, of course, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe, because I'm pretty sure my next video will be the 50th video I've uploaded to YouTube, and I have something very special planned. It's a pickup, but it's just one thing that is pretty mind-blowing, and I think will be very interesting. So stay tuned, be sure to subscribe so you know when that one goes live. Otherwise, as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope everyone had a great Christmas and has a very happy New Year, and I hope to see you again.